All right, good afternoon. So we started looking at section 10, which is about websites and web application hacking or penetration testing. We have covered the introductory aspects where I give us the overview of the practical we are expected to carry out that falls under web application penetration testing. And I also highlighted why you should know these aspects as a cybersecurity professional, because the organization you be working for, we actually want you to examine the security strengths of their websites to know if the black hat hacker can actually break into their websites. And we talk about the OWASP top 10. Why is it that most time we talk about OWASP top 10? So OWASP top 10 is or highlighted some of the most vulnerabilities in every website. So that we can pay attention to them, so that when we are running our penetration testing, we will know exactly whether these top 10 that the bad guys actually attack, whether they are in proper order. So we listed them as at 2017. Up to now, these are some of the top 10 words web app hacking. These are some of the applications in your website that the bad guys hacks, and that is why they are listed as the top 10. Now, we started by looking at how to scan. I told us that before you start running any penetration testing on any web application, we need to scan. We need to have an idea of some information about that website, and that took us to understanding some of the two main known technology which are used in scanning websites to check for vulnerabilities. And the two apps are OWASP SAP and Bomb. Now remember that we were able to install it. Can somebody remind us the code we ran? Because we discovered that the ZAP was not installed with our Kali, so we have to install it. What was the code again? Sudo apt install what? ZAP proxy. Good. So with that, you'll be able to have access to it. So let's assume that you have installed it, and then you click on the Kali icon and search for ZAP. Then once you search for ZAP, you are going to be prompted an interface like this. I believe we have all confirmed all this. I'm just trying to run through so that we can continue from where we stopped last time. Then after that, out of the option given to you, I have already pointed out the option you have to select, which is no, I do not want to what? Persist the session at this moment. Now you click on the first option out of these three options. The first option that says what? Authenticate what? Scan. Then once you click on it, that will prompt you to this environment. So you enter the target machine. In our own case, we are using meta what? Exploitable what? IP address. You type it here, and then you click on attack, and that will start scanning through that system. And once it starts scanning, you are expected to see all this information that are displayed here. So just to verify if we have actually pulled out some information from the target machine. So I pointed at one particular file that you should look for, which is private IP, something like brochure or something like that. So you click on it, and that will prompt you. Yes, private. If you check very well there, just like the way I screenshotted it, I couldn't get it. But were we able to see this last time? Said? Private was? Disclosure, right? Okay, good. So once you can find it, you click on it. And once you click on it, you are going to see some of these details by your right-hand side. Then there is another one again that you can. I was just trying to look at different applications that the scan process was able to derive from the website. So there's another one there, which is web browser cross SS. That is what? Web browser XSS protection. You can find it. Can you locate it? That was another file that I also checked, and then we got what we have inside it. All of this is for you to confirm, or is a way of you confirming that you have actually scanned and you have been able to get some information from the website. So all this will inform you whether you can proceed with the penetration testing or not. So by the time you run that scan and you are not able to get some of this information that I'm talking about, it means that you were denied what? Access. So after that, we try to automate. Remember that once you open, there's another one here, directories browsing. You can find it, directory browsing. So once you browse the directory, you are going to get you are going to see that HTTP and the 192.168.5, which is still the IP address of the metasploitable machine /DV what? WA. All right, that was equivalent to what where we started from. Now, after why I have to bring it out, because we are going to take that URL to a browser, and that will now take us to the back end what file. So that was the reason why I have to bring it back. So that particular URL that I'm pointing at with the red arrow, you copy it, go to a browser, click on the Kali icon again, then click on web browser, and then type it. By the time you type it and run it, that will prompt you this environment. So what you have access to here now is the back end. So which means that to an extent, the website is what? Is vulnerable. For you to have even the here set, it means that the website is not protected.
But you said it's going to be possible inside.
You said?
Last time you said it.
Yes.
That
was because you are not supposed to get to that. We are still getting to that aspect, but I don't know how you guys. You see, when you try to this address and you put which username, admin, right? And then you put password, right? Which we are still going to use. You know, this particular system is open. Hope you know that. Because it's recommended for us to practice what? Ethical hacking. It's open. But if it is a real website, you will have to find another means to break that what? To break that user and what? Password before you can access this. Why we are accessing this directly because it's open. So part of what we are going to learn now, which is what? Brute forcing, probably in the next class, which is the main aspect of this. You know, brute forcing is where you break into it. So the process is long, but we will try and stay true to see how we are able to succeed. Normally, when you want to break into someone's house, it's always easy. Compare it to where you check where the person keep key and you silently collect the key and open the door. So like this one now, it's just like they have already disclosed the password and the user. That's why it just walked you in. But under brute forcing, we will now what? It will deny us when we get there. Then we will now what? Force ourselves in to create our own. That is where the bump will come in. But all this one, you are still scanning. So this was exactly where we stopped last time, right? And then I said in the next class, we continue with what? Directory what? Busting. So we can start writing now. I believe this is where we are starting from today. Directory what? Busting. So Kali comes with a tool called directory what? Busting, which is now abbreviated to what? DIR what? B. Deb. That enumerates, that is gathers. That enumerates, that is gather, directory that exists on a given web server. The deb is a very powerful tool that can discover directories and files that are not meant to be public and can be exploited. Now remember that everything you are learning in this section is just for educational purpose. We do not in any way support, and we are practicing all this within the safe environment called VirtualBox. So we are safe. And we are learning all this so that when you are employed tomorrow and you are asked to run penetration testing on your website, on the company website, different tools or technologies you can deploy to be able to write your report. Because at the end of the day, after deploying all this, if you are able to gain access, so you write your report that what the website is exposed. And when you are not able to gain access, then after exploring all these options, yet you could not get to the root of the website or access those apps that the black hat hacker may want to hack, then you cannot write your report that the website is secure. Once you are done writing, you let me know so that we can go to the next slide. Yeah, it's two resources. It's time. Which one? About. Whose style you call column and thread. Space, lifestyle, and then space. Or lifestyle. Inside the style, you put column, then you put red, put text align, you put center. Are we together now? Okay, so now we are going to go back to your Kali to execute that command. You are going to go back to your Kali, and then when you get to your Kali, you run this code. The dev what? HTTP. Now remember that you are going to substitute your target machine IP address with the one showing. You have not finished scanning. You have to stop that scanning now. You are supposed to have completed the scanning. Now, please, I'm trying to explain to you so that you don't do the wrong thing. You go to your Kali machine and then you insert your target machine IP address. In our own case, we are using what? Metasploitable machine. Then you space before you type what? USR. Remember that this is Python scripts from basic Bash and Python. We know why we are writing the share word list, then slash common.test. So what this is going to do is going to collect the file and store it in a folder called what? Common.what? TST. So let's execute that. You are going to notice to start scanning.
Which way they use code where? Now
Kali, yes. Go to your Kali. Your normal Kali terminal now. Terminal. That is where you write it. After, yes, yeah, there's space. That is why I left the space there. That is the only place you have space.
So once you have executed that, this is outcome you're supposed to get. So compare now.
Your own, so it said,
Who have gotten it like this? So you check, compare your code with the one on the screen. Let's continue. Let's continue. So let's look at another tool for scanning. All these tools are for scanning. So we have a Nikto web application scanner. So Nikto is a web application scanner that scans web servers for known vulnerabilities that you may be able to exploit. So Nikto is very useful also and can usually find very valuable vulnerability for you to test out. So all these are different tools that you can use to scan the website you want to attack its app first before launching the attack. Okay. That question. Okay. Yes, yes, direct. Because you are learning. No, you can't access them now. They are inside Kali Linux. They are Linux tools. They are not Windows tools, please. Simple as that. So if you are going to work for any company tomorrow, there should be a system where you install Linux operating system. It may not really be Kali. The Kali is just a distribution. It's just one version. So once it is Linux, you are expected to have all this. But you will not even work inside VirtualBox. You have no business working in what? VirtualBox. VirtualBox is a way of trying to tame us as we are learning so that we will not go outside. But when you are given license, the company have employed you, you understand? You have the permission to test the strength, the security strength of their platform. You use your Kali. But by the time you now leave that company now and start and running it on another person's website, then you should be ready to face the issue if it happens. That one is no longer my business. So yes, of course, you will not run Windows. You will not run Windows. Though you may have another one in case of you want to do some things that you do. You can also partition itself in a way that you can run both. Yes. Which one?
Like what about
that is if you are conversant with the scripting languages now. Can speak.
You cannot install a Microsoft Word or Kali.
Microsoft, you can install them now. But you know that Kali is not user friendly like Windows now. It's command based operating system now. Yeah, that is the one we install now.
Okay, we install the graphical aspect of Kali.
That's what you install now. What we install is it not graphical? Is that not the reason why you have icon there? You have icon there now. You have that. If you now learn it further to maybe you want to use it, then you discover how to do it. It's possible. Yes, exactly. Just like the way. Yes, it's just like even Windows. Yes, even Windows. Even the Microsoft Windows. When you came new into computing, it was a subject that they taught you Microsoft Windows management. How to create icons. Somebody had to teach you all those things, how to open programs. So the same thing, if you want to prefer this one, you not learn the equivalent operation of this one. You don't have issue. All right, so let's quickly look at, let's launch the NIT code now. NIT rather. So this is the code you are going to run. There's space, that's why I left all the places where you have spaces, I left them. It will be very obvious for you to know that you are supposed to leave space. Before it, what do you have? The IP address. Yes. The IP address now, if you want to remove it now, we'll put www dots. Yes. Right? Let's say .facebook, right? Yes. / So this is just like a folder. You understand? Just like a directory in that particular website at the back end. When you want to develop the website, you name the folder you have all your scripts. So it's that folder that you are now reaching out to. You are now bringing all these files.
So what the government is a small start for every website?
No, it's just the one recommended for us to practice. It's the one that is the website that they've left open for you and I to practice.
Okay, so now in terms of getting it in a real life situation, how do we get to know that what we request in that video?
You type the real website address too. You understand? Yes, you scan the real website without putting that extension. That extension because you have already know the folder. If you know the folder, you scan the website, whatever that comes out there, from there now you now have idea of a particular folder. But you know that in every website there are standard folder that everybody know. IMG is a standard folder that every web developer normally creates. CSS is a standard folder. So these guys that are doing this, they know. We have index, which is always the name of every first page of every website. So those standard things, that is what they are working on. Not those customized, maybe you use a folder, you call it media or whatever. So if you remove this slash now, you will still get the results. But just that you are not narrowing that result to one item inside the entire container. So have we launched and see something familiar to this? That's what I want to do. So now let's look at this one now. Let's check whether you can see that folder, a part of what you scanned. That is what I just want us to. Yes, check whether you can see any line like that very one that I'm highlighting with my. Is there a bit?
Yes.
Good. It's hackable. You can actually penetrate into some of the apps within the website for you to be seeing all this information. That is what we are learning since. Like I said, we have not done any attack. You see it, the next class now, you see the processes we will go through before we will be able to. So it's not as easy as this that you just, this one now you are just scanning. And for you to be getting this feedback is to tell you that by the time we start using the Zap and the Bob, we'll be able to what? To go in and get some details. Because ordinarily, you are not supposed to be seeing all these things. So that is what the scan revealed. So still on the one, if you understand, that is to tell you that what the website is secured. All this that you are seeing, that is why I said just that an institution like us will not tell you some of those things. Everything you are running inside here, if you run them outside here, you get results. Are you with me? Yes. Just that we are bound to what? To practice within this space. If, for example, now, if there's a different way of doing it outside here, that means the whole learning process, I don't think it will have yielded any results. If the one you are practicing within the virtual box now is different from the one you are going to use. The only thing is that the website you are going to run this on, the IP address will be different, right? It's not going to be the meta-exploitable address again. It will be that website. And where are you going to get that IP address? Every website, once you host it, the hosting company will send you the IP address and the domain name. So most time, what we give to the client is the one that they can understand, www. But the web developer knows that what an IP address was sent together. So what you now do as a cybersecurity expert, you ask for the what? The IP address. Or if you have access, you can tell the developer, or if you have access to log into the back end, there's a place once you get there, you see the IP address. Without the developer even, once you log into the back end, there's a place where you see the what? The IP address of the website. Yes, you can also use to check. There are different ways. It's just like the other time I wanted to know the IP address of our system. We just went to a website, right? And just put in fact, just connect on that system, then go to ask my IP address, and it brought it out. So let's look at this one. I believe this might be I just want to conclude the scanning tools today so that the next class we know that we are just focusing on launching the attack, because the process cannot combine them together. So we have the SQL map and what? SQL Ninja. The majority of web applications utilize SQL databases. In some ways, regardless of what language, we can enumerate information about them and determine if SQL attacks are possible with SQL what? Map and SQL Ninja. Just like Bump and XAMPP, these two tools perform similar functions, and usage what comes down to what? Personal preference. So depending on the one, some persons will use a Bump. Even the one we are going to do now, you see that what the kind of attack we want to launch, when we get to, there's a point it will get to, the ZAP will not be able to do it. We will now switch to what? Bump before we'll be able to what? To go through. So sometimes it might require you combining both, or maybe the attack might just be a minor one that ZAP only can take care of. So all these description now, we are going to see them when we start the brute force. It's just for us to know that we are going to consult them in the process. So which means that the major tools for scanning your web app at this moment, how many of them we have learned now? What are the major ones? Nikto, right? Directory was? Which other one again? Okay. So now let's just have the introduction to this one. We will start. We are going to run it under force. So what I will do now is for us to, let's look at the theoretical aspect of this force. The practical we are going to do next time is this force, where we want to force ourselves in. Where we want to force ourselves in. So it's a long process. I just pray that we want to finish it. So I will start it on time so that we can start it and finish it. Because if we do not finish it, the next day we have to run the code again to get to where we stop. But we can proceed. We cannot store it. So let's just look at the theoretical aspect of it. And then the next class, we just continue with the practical. So what is brute forcing? One way to break into web applications is through what? Brute forcing. This typically involves using a list of usernames. Where you are going to create different lists of usernames, trying them one after the other until one gets in. And password. Yes, we will reset the database. Then we will now create as many as possible. Why we are doing that? Since we are learning the ways of the bad boys, so they create different ones. So once you block one, that is the idea. That is what we are trying to portray here. So they will create different ones. So once you notice you block one, they will launch. That is why you must ensure that the website is secure. So the moment you even run those scanning and you got those we are getting, you raise alarm. The web developer knows what to do. If they did not purchase security feature, they will quickly go and purchase it, so that all those information will be denied. Yes, now you see, tech is a teamwork now. You are not the only one there. You're only just to run all these checks, and then once you'll be presenting your reports. And once you run your penetration testing on the web, and you are able to get all this information, so you raise alarm. So they contact the next person that is in charge of the website, because you are not in charge of the website. The person would know that, okay, I have to buy a stronger security, or go to the backend and reconfigure some of those information so that those information will not be available. So we can use a variety of tools to achieve this. But in this session, like I told us, we are going to be using what? A Bob suit to brute force into what? The DVW server. So this is another idea regarding the question you were asking the other time. As a server now, which is the back end, the app now. So, like I said, we will look at the practical in our next class. So the next class we will start implementing this brute force. Let's try to be here. Anyway, you guys always come on time.